Homosexuality. Noun. Sexual desire or behavior directed towards a person or persons of one's own sex. Bully. Noun. A person who hurts, intimidates, or persecutes weaker people. I want to ask you a question. Is a homosexual weaker than another person? The answer is no. The quote above in my slideshow states, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure." This was stated by Marianne Williamson in her novel Return to Love, Reflections of the Principle of A Course in Miracles. You can rise to the top. You don't have to create strength, because homosexuals, they are not weak. They don't need to go out and look for strength outside of you, because the strength lives within you. The potential to be strong lives within each and every single one of us. And in order to harness this potential, you have to search for it. You have to search the depths of your soul in order to find your own strength. Because, as I stated earlier, strength lives within each and every single one of you. And with curiosity comes questions. Who are you? That question will form in your mind, and you'll soon discover the answer. Your entire perception will change. People today are constantly in search of themselves. People do not know who they are, truth be told. And so, you'll ask, who am I? And some people will find that they are homosexual. And that leads to another natural part of humans, communications. And humans and homosexuals will accept themselves until it happens. Until they're asked, what are you? Until they're treated as if something is wrong with them, as if they are an utter disgrace, as if they don't deserve to be treated as a person, as if they are one of us, as if they are even human. And you know what? They're going to wonder why those people ask, what are you? And not, who are you? They will wonder why they are not treated equally. And so they'll ask themselves the question. That one question a person should never ask themselves. Not now, not ever. They'll ask themselves, what am I? They will be told that their existence defies reality, that they're wrong, that they are mistakes. And as religious groups like to say, love the sinner, hate the sin. What kind of messed up logic is that to condemn a group of people because of who they love and who they like and their feelings? That's wrong. And yet, that's what they see. They see their homosexuality as something to be eradicated immediately. Except, sometimes it's not just their sexuality. Sometimes people say that they themselves should not exist. And sometimes they might just believe it. And sometimes people might not realize that they are wronged. Adults know better than to believe this utter blasphemy, than to believe these lies that are told and circulated throughout our modern-day society. But minors don't know any better. Minors are susceptible and vulnerable to the lies. They are vulnerable to everything, despite what they may say. I'm stubborn, I'm a teenager, but I know that people of my age are extremely vulnerable to things that are said, to outward opinions, despite the fact that they have no actual basis. Because straight minors believe the horrid things homosexuals are called. Because homosexuals believe the horrible things that they are called. And the worst part of this all is that this is where bullying was born. I know that some of you out in this audience, or that are listening to this, think I am wrong. You probably think that I have a whole lot of nerve to go walking out on the stage and to defy your core beliefs. But if I can't change your minds for now, I know that we can agree on something. Bullying is wrong. Each of you listening to this have been bullied at least once in your lifetime for one thing or another. I am a survivor of bullying. I was bullied to the point of severe depression. My point is, you don't have to be homosexual to be bullied. Because I believed everything those kids accused me of being, even though they were all lies. And if I could ever prevent that suffering from being inflicted onto another human being, I would. However, I'm realistic. I know that I cannot do that. And so I'm trying to help the best I can. I'm trying to reach out to the people I can. I'm here to help homosexuals not just because they're bullied more than anyone, but because they don't deserve the horrid treatment that they are given each and every single day. Whenever you are being bullied, it doesn't matter if what they call you are lies. Even if you recognize them as lies, it still hurts. You still remember. And yet, as much as people claim they hate bullying, they end up doing it themselves. It's funny how people say they wish others could change, yet they refuse to change themselves. Change is a constant. You cannot go against change. Change is something that will forever exist within our world, something that is not to be eradicated anytime soon. Change is always happening around us, whether it's, you changing your body movements or, me slightly shaking out of fear because this is nerve-wracking for me. Change is always occurring constantly. Some are just larger changes than others. So, let me ask you a question. Why not change bullying? Why not eradicate it? Why not? Can you really give me a good reason why it shouldn't be? Yes, there will always be the inferior and the superior. But people don't have to attack each other because of inner insecurities. People don't have to persecute each other. We made bullying. We weren't just born with the knowledge of how to bully. We created bullying, and we are the only ones who can stop it. Let's take a look at the past now, shall we? The reality is that 9 out of 10 LGBTQ minors are bullied for their actual or potential sexuality. The reality is that half of minors who reported that I just stated were physically harassed as well. The reality is that 30% of completed suicides have been caused by sexual identity crisis. The reality is that in 2005, a survey showed that the second top reason that teens said they were bullied was because of their perceived or actual sexuality. The reality is that, according to statistics, only 2/3 of staff members report or try to resolve gay bullying. Will Neblitt. He is a 13-year-old boy who was once well-liked until he came out as gay. He was bullied, he was called a girl, a fag, and it wasn't just one person who was harassing him. Maybe if it was one person, he could have been okay. But it was everyone. Every single person in his class hated him and called him things and tripped him in the hallway and beat him up right after he left school grounds. There were people waiting for him on the way to the bus stop just so that they can punch that gay kid. And so it was no wonder whenever he contemplated suicide. It was no wonder to see whenever his parents were horrified at the fact that he was considering this. His mom complained to the school principal and the district superintendent multiple times, yet they did nothing. They said that they would do something, but as we all know, because I'm saying this, they didn't do anything. The teachers did nothing. In fact, he showed one text to his teacher where a fellow peer had called him a girl, And the teacher said, this is her own words, maybe you wouldn't be called that if you didn't act like one. So it was no wonder whenever 6th grade came around that his mother decided to homeschool him. Alexander Spader and C. Raphael Davis Williams, 2 lawyers in the community, volunteered to take up their case to look at their claims. They won. Although the school decided that they were going to deny the claims, that they ignored Will's bullying because of the fact that it was because of his sexuality, they decided they were going to, ignore the claim that, Will's education had been effectively barred because the teachers and the students did not like him because of who he was. Today, when interviewed, Will said, I tell kids who are gay that there are going to be people who make fun of you, but not the whole world. Jaden Bell. He was bullied for being gay every single day at school. He was beat up every day, and he usually sported a black eye on the way to school, and also on the way back home, except about 3 times worse. And it was pretty ironic because today I find that people are made fun of for race, yet people are more made fun of for their sexuality. And it's kind of ironic how the people in his school said that he was such a kind person and a nice person, how he can make everybody smile, whenever they're the ones who caused him to, on January 19th, hang himself from the school's jungle gym and to cut off blood to flow to his brain. They're the reason why a few days later, after being put on life support, they finally took him off because, as medical people say, he was a vegetable. It's kind of ironic how people claim that they can do these things, that they can do this and be there for this guy, and yet the reality is that, truth be told, they're the ones who had hurt him every single day. They're the ones who had brought a guy who smiled and laughed and who was happy to tears on the floor in front of that jungle gym. And it makes me wonder what those last thoughts of his were before he finally decided to end his life. Let's go on now to statistics, shall we? Bisexuals are bullied more than any other homosexual out there. They are hated on by both gay people and straight people. You can watch YouTube videos where people state their hate of it. You can watch response videos where people hate on it. You will just find that people in general hate on it. Bisexuals are bullied 49% out of the 100%, compared to other LGBTQ minors who were bullied 39%. I could read off a lot more statistics that will probably horrify you, but I'm not going to do that. Billy Lucas, Seth Walsh, Tyler Clementi, Raymond Chase, Jaden Bell, Will Boblet, Asher Brown. Asher Brown was born in Houston, here, the place where we live. He lived here. He was actually a year younger than me, and he shot himself on September 23rd because of his sexuality, because he had been told that he was wrong, that his existence was wrong, and he believed it. And so he killed himself. You want to know what reality is, right? This is reality. Yes, changes have been done. Good things have happened. There is the GSA, the Gay Straight Alliance, that provides a community as well as a national network for people who are homosexual or straight who support homosexual people. There are books that help people come out as gay or to help them cope with being bullied for it. There are protests that occur all the time to help people. In fact, I was in New York City whenever I saw homosexual people promoting gay equal marriage. There are support groups that help with this. There are people who you can come to that will accept you, that will be there for you. There are YouTube channels that are created by homosexual people to help other homosexual people deal with their homosexuality and to cope with it and to realize that it's not wrong. There actually is a project called It Gets Better on YouTube that was created solely to help homosexual youth realize who they are and that they are not a mistake. And then there are also religions who have accepted homosexuals as humans. The Episcopal Church is one of these. Also, universities have been doing studies on homosexuality, proving that it does indeed exist. While this is all incredible, we are yet to face the truth. The truth is that homophobia still exists, silence is still encouraged, and people still do not accept change. People are still being bullied every single day. People are still being hurt for who they are. People are still getting hurt by others every single day, and sometimes being hurt by themselves. It's getting better, slowly but surely. But in the meantime, can we really just sit here and accept what's going on? Can we really just sit here and watch homosexuals be harassed and hurt? Because for a very long time now, there's kind of been this, not directly said, but kind of a given that if homosexuals stay in the closet until they turn 18, then whenever they turn 18, they will be, somewhat accepted among society. It won't be too bad. But those past 18 years, that's what you had to go through in order for you to be partially accepted. Maybe it's just me, but that's messed up. Because you know what? We don't have to go against change. We can accept change and accept reality. And the reality is that homosexuality exists, and that it is a part of life that you cannot deny. We can make it better. We can report bullying. But will it happen? Because look at us. We're still not changing. We're still looking around for others for help. We're still looking at the world and not knowing what to do and being confused. But it can get better. We can, as I stated earlier, we can report bullying. We can accept I can't really say it in that phrase. Let me rephrase this. You can accept your children if they are homosexual. You can help people who are homosexual if they are being outcast by the church or by some other organization. You can spread the word about it. You can do a wide variety of things. Let's look at the internet. Great thing. Just look at what people have been doing for YouTube channels. There are so many different mediums in which people can use to help homosexual people. And yet, some refuse. Change is a constant. Homosexual bullying can change. You know what? You can go against it, but it won't change anything. You will be forced to accept their existence because homosexual bullying will change. The end of homosexual bullying may not yet be upon us, but it will be. Just watch.